Animals often surprise us with their strange behavior, which can be impossible to explain. It would seem that at the sight of a person, wild animals usually prefer to get away as soon as possible. But the story we are going to tell you today shows otherwise. Wild animals can withstand a large number of opponents if they are driven by some kind of goal. But what is this goal? Stick around to find out. This story took place on the island of Sumatra, which is located in the western part of the Malay archipelago. The area there, although very beautiful, is quite dangerous to live in due to the constant floods that occur there regularly during the heavy rainy season. Huge streams of water cause numerous landslides that sweep away everything in their path. Mighty mud streams move from the upper part of the island, leaving behind blockages which uproot huge trees and demolish houses. During one of these floods, such a huge landslide formed that it completely demolished large buildings from the ground, and even more so the small dwellings of local fishermen. Rescue teams from Europe and Asia were sent to help the poor locals. People worked around the clock, clearing the rubble, saving survivors, and recovering the bodies of those who weren't lucky enough to get out in time. Scouring the territory in search of survivors, with every hour the chances of finding them became less and less. Time treacherously worked against people. The rescuers approached the next house, or rather only the roof remained from the house, and were about to start excavations when their eyes fell on something unusual. The men could make out among the dirt and debris several orangutans who were scurrying about. The animals went about their business, not paying any attention to the people, but when the rescuers came closer, they clearly became worried, and the largest males began to drive away the rescuers. This behavior greatly surprised everyone present. Usually, orangutans very rarely descend from trees to the ground, preferring to watch what is happening from above. What were they looking for here? What were they trying to unearth in this rubble? Some suggested that they were rummaging for food, but then the rescuers heard groaning. Without hesitation, the people dispersed the orangutans and took shovels to the area where the animals had been digging. After some time, an elderly man was pulled out of the rubble, who then rushed to the orangutans and began to thank them, not the people, for his salvation. This surprised the rescue team, but the man had to be taken to the hospital. However, the man flatly refused to go anywhere without the animals. So all the orangutans were loaded into one large cart and taken to a safe place together with the man. When the old man was examined by doctors and he came to his senses, everyone was eager to hear his story. What connected him to these animals? Why were they so desperate to save him? And why did he refuse to leave without them? The story of this elderly fisherman made everyone present cry. A few years ago, he rescued a pregnant female orangutan from poachers. The man brought the animal to his house and looked after her until she gave birth. He fed the mother, and she felt completely safe in his house. After the baby was born and grew stronger, the fisherman took her and the baby back to the forest so that they could live in their natural habitat. However, after only a few hours, she returned. Apparently, the young mother did not want to return back to the wild, but preferred to stay close to her savior. So they lived together. Time passed, and other orangutans began to approach the fisherman's house. He gladly accepted them all, fed them with various goodies, and spent a lot of time with them. When he went fishing, the animals were waiting for him at home, and when the primates went into the forest on their own business, the fisherman looked out the window and waited for their return. One day, when the landslide happened, all the primates were in the forest. The old man did not manage to get out of his dwelling in time and ended up buried in the rubble. The orangutans hurried to rescue their friend. When the people came, the animals looked at them with distrust and fear, but did not leave the place, continuing to dig the ground and dismantle the boards. Even wild animals will come to the rescue of those who are truly dear to them. They, despite the fact that they themselves are afraid of people, did not leave the elderly man alone, but were with him until his rescue. And after that, he himself did not abandon his saviors, refusing to leave the place without his pets. So, friends, the good thing done once by this elderly man saved his life many years later. After all, if the orangutans had not been swarming in that place, perhaps the rescuers would have simply passed by without knowing that he was waiting for help under this broken roof. If you liked this story, please click like and share your opinion in the comments. What do you think about this amazing story?